Welcome back. Now, this morning on the Power Breakfast Show, for our first interview, we want to talk about Waiguru's exit from a cabinet. And Mutegi Njau is joined by Honorable Paul Kimani Wamatangi, the Senator for Kiambu County, as well as Honorable Daniel Maanzo, Member of Parliament for Makueni County. Now, if you want to join in on the conversation, 22422 is the SMS line. The hashtag on Twitter is Power Breakfast. Mutegi?
Good morning, Senator. Good morning, Mheshimiwa.
Good morning.
Let's start with you, Honorable Wamatangi.
Yes.
Since Waiguru resigned on Saturday,
yes,
she has to be relieved, probably get some lighter duty. So many has been written about her resignation,
yes,
and her quitting. She gave herself the reason for medical reasons.
Yes.
A lot of people don't believe that. What is your take on this?
Well, why don't people believe it? Because let's be clear, Mutegi, the former CS made her statement very clear. She said that because of her family, to protect her family, also because of her own health reasons, she chose not to step aside but to resign. And you know, when somebody asks for that, and I think we also need to start one step behind and give her her due. She's a human being. She has a heart that beats like yours and mine. She has a family to protect. She has children who look upon her as a mother. She has a health of herself, her family to look at, besides everything else. She's human like everybody, like every other Kenyan. And so when she steps out and says that this is what I am facing as a person, me and my family, so I want to resign, I think the most honorable thing that we can do as Kenyans is to give her her space so that she can start in her private life healing her children, her family, because it is true, we as Kenyans know, I'm sure you have also seen in the social media, there were unrelenting attacks on her person, on her children, especially her children. And I think she just needs to be granted that. I just want to say that I think the fairest thing that we can do right now is to let what she has asked for. She gets it, she resigns, she gets her peace, she gets her time, and let her go through the healing process. There are so many things that will be said, and if we were to concentrate on what people are saying, that this one has said that, there will always be varying opinions about several other issues. And so I believe, as far as I'm concerned, I would want to join those who want to let the CS be and let her have a peace at this time.
I have everything I need already.
And Maanzo, what do you say about that? What's your take?
Yes, first of all, when the former CS Waiguru's name was brought to the floor of the House, when Parliament was approving the cabinet secretaries, you know, there was a very good history about her work and how serious she is and how successful. And therefore, Parliament approved her as a cabinet secretary. The law allows one to resign. Even a member of Parliament, even a senator, even a governor, the law allows any individual to resign for whatever reasons. The moment a resignation letter is tendered, then that position falls vacant. So if for any human being, with the sort of pressure, you know, she was facing, one is likely actually to give in. And if I were her, in fact, I would have resigned much earlier and then allowed investigations to go on. And then the moment she's cleared, actually the term used in Kenya is stepping aside. Is better than resignation. Then the moment she's cleared, then and every Kenyan is happy with her, then should have gone back to her work. I don't think it is too late. Proper investigation should be carried out because the matters touching her are very simple in law. If money was lost through IFMIS, those who operate IFMIS are known. And whoever received the money is known. that account is known. So it is very easy to find out who has stolen from the government. Very, very easy. And such people cannot, you know, Kenya, where Kenya has gotten now, Kenya is no longer tolerating corruption. Even at the constituency level where I have money CDF, or where there are people elected to manage CDF, I go around and tell wananchi, if you see somebody stealing, call us. And in 2 or 3 occasions, you know, Kenyans have come up in arms and they said, look, this is wrong, and then we have accepted. So I think though it's a new trend coming in, social media, which is very powerful, we also have to have a proper way of using it, because, and somebody must also clear themselves and make sure that the truth is known, because as a country, we are also a family. You know, Waiguru has no other country other than Kenya, and if she chooses, and if Kenya is where she is the happiest, even if you go to another part of the country or the world and your own country is not happy with you, then you have a problem. So to ease out the pressure, I think she took a good decision, and it is also a good lesson to other CSs that when you see things are raising issues, that it is best to step aside.
Honorable Matangi is saying that social media, and in fact some newspapers have written in front pages that the social media, the criticism of social media caused her to resign. Everybody who is in public life, you expect to be criticized, whether in social media or any media. And if you all, when we criticize, we go because we are criticized. The best way to defend yourself, not to resign.
Well, you can say that, and let me also make this clear. As far as I'm concerned, my own personal view, Mategi, is that I've always maintained that the process through which we establish the guilt or the innocence of anybody serving in any capacity in this country has got to be a judicious process. It's got to be expeditious, it's got to be fair, it's got to be uninterfered with, and it must bring about the result of justice. And it doesn't matter whom we are talking about. And if I was asked what would be the way forward on such a matter, or what should have been the way forward, I've always maintained one stance which I don't change, because I believe it is time to train our people and our country to respect the laws that we have made ourselves and follow them, even when they require us to be patient. That we say to our people, yes, this is a lawful process, this is what it takes to establish the truth until the end. And once we learn to respect that as a people, whether we are at that time using the law to protect our position, whether we are using the law at that particular time to establish our position against somebody else, then the process will always be respected. And that's what I'm saying. That yes, criticism should not be the basis of resignation, but when it crosses the threshold that it goes beyond the person, and like the former CS said, if it is targeted against your innocent family members, your children, who cannot defend themselves, who have no platform to come and say what they are saying is not true, and like I've just said, Mutegi, as a parent, because you are and I am, you know where we all place our families, and you know the family values we hold as a people and as a nation. And we should not think that just because I am a senator that my family is less valuable than the next person.
Somebody can argue, like he was trying to allude, that she brought it on herself. Remember when the matter of the corruption in the ministry was brought by the former Prime Minister, the first thing was to deny. Nothing happened. Then they said, oh, you know, there were some people who stole signatures and passwords and they wanted to steal. Finally, money was stolen. All those denials and all those kind of things, she brought it to herself. Like you said, she could have left that time.
Maybe I need to remind you a little bit of that history, because it looks like you've forgotten.
Yes.
Quickly. Remember that in this process, it was actually the CS herself It was the CS herself who was the complainant in this case. She is the one who even actually pointed out other figures. She said those were just allegations that were thrown all over, but it is her who said that I think that there is money that requires to be investigated, because after I look as a CS, I think there has been transactions which require to be established whether they are right or wrong. And she actually invited the CID and then eventually the EACC. And that's why personally I stand in the fight against corruption, just like I know the Jubilee government stands firmly that we have to fight corruption. But in the fight against corruption, we also have to establish fairness. We also cannot turn the fight against corruption into mob justice. We cannot throw away the law because we are fighting corruption. Actually, the only and best way to fight corruption and make sure that the gains we get are sustainable, they are anchored in law, is by respecting that law. And so what I'm saying in finality is this, that the CS did not bring it upon herself. If the system, if we as a people, after she made her complaint, were patient and we would say, let her go through the rigors of that investigation. And actually what I say and what I believe would have happened eventually, even if she had not resigned, was if in this process she had been found culpable, then absolutely she would have faced the full wrath of the law, and no one is exempt. No one is above the law. That's our constitution. And my only point is this, Motegi, that we should not be bloodthirsty. But I don't want to delve deeply into that topic, especially as far as the CS is concerned, because she has asked to be given leave of the emotional engagement and of the barrage of attacks so that she can have her own time and her own peace with her family. I believe and I wish to respect that.
What is your view? My argument is that people argue that she brought it upon herself. She should have gone earlier.
Well,
or at least stepped aside, not resigned.
Yes, you know.
She would have a chance if she had stepped aside.
You know, during the Kibaki era, during President Kibaki's time, a lot of ministers were mentioned, and it just goes with adverse mention. The moment you are adversely mentioned, it means something is not right, and then they will step aside, and then investigations will go on, because a lot of times really a minister will not be really the one responsible, though to a good extent also a minister of should know everything about the ministry. I also want to say that her ministry is very complicated, and the Department of NYS is substantially big, and if one doesn't go to the nitty-gritties, and that's why I said with modern technology, even an investigator does not need to belabor the point. Even if my system and some monies are lost, it is known who did it. It is known who was on the computer. It is known what the passwords are. And also, you know, we need to invest we need to invest in our, in our systems, the investigation systems. The EACC is not as strong as we think. The CID, technology has moved very fast. But I'm saying even when we are using this technology, which a lot of members of parliament have complained about when we are assigning them money, because some of them know it too well, what this technology is. It can also easily be manipulated and theft, and we could even have lost more money using the IFMI system. So as a country, we need to be more alert. But if really, whether you raise the alarm, because raising an alarm is good as a minister, even after you raise the alarm, you need to go further, because that is your ministry, to be able to point out to the police, it is so and so. And up to now, really, other than the permanent secretary and the director of NYS, I believe they are the real culprits in NYS who have not been arrested. In fact, from my experience as a civil servant, it is not really the permanent secretary as such, and it's not really the director, it's not even really the minister as such. Then those fellows who have benefited from this money, whose accounts are known, why are they not in court? If they were in court, the CS Waiguru would have been, the former CS Waiguru would have been free long time ago. And that's what Kenyans were looking for. Who is this person who is not in court? And why are they not in court? And why is the money not being returned to Kenyans?
Well, the bank accounts have been frozen.
Yes.
That's 701 million. And the bank itself, the family bank,
yes,
they are under investigation.
Yes, and it's an open and shut case. Unless somebody is preventing these people from being taken to court. They should have been in court yesterday. And Anne Waiguru would have been free from in our conscience, and all Kenyans would be happy that a good job has been done. She may not be the beneficiary, but her beneficiary is known. Why is that beneficiary being shielded?
But there's that saying, the buck stops at the top.
Well, Mutegi, if I was to take that debate forward,
yes,
I would tell you this, that I'm clear in my conscience that what Kenyans are looking for right now are answers to the various challenges that we face as a people in our day-to-day living. And the technical debates that we have learned to engage with all the time about this and about that, and we discuss things when they happen. The feeling of the people, the true intent and will of the Kenyan people is to get answers to the matters or to the challenges they have, and that's why I would say with clarity that Kenyans also at this time have got a good chance to see between both sides, between the government and between the opposition. Now, who really is ready to stand with Kenyans at their time of need? Who is ready and willing to go down and get the job done, muddy their hands, and make sure that they offer solutions? Because I'll tell you this, that I don't believe that the solutions to the challenges that we face as a people in the things we do lie in a few individuals sitting somewhere in a boat by the lakeside and breaking into raucous laughter about a CS who has resigned. That will not offer solutions to Kenyans. What we are looking for, what the Kenyans on the ground are looking for, is a team who are ready, like our president and the deputy, to acknowledge, yes, we know that there are issues that confront the people of this country every single day when they wake up to eke out a living. That yes, there are solutions that are required to the many questions that arise in the course of leadership. And I can tell you, without fear of contradiction, that I know there was no time when the two leaders ever presumed that the job they got was going to be an easy one, that they were just going to walk over. They knew, they prepared, they knew that there were going to be challenges.
The people they appointed.
And Mutegi, I want to affirm to you and to my friend Maanzo and his colleagues on the other side, but mostly to our Kenyan people, that indeed the issues we have on the table, the leadership of Jubilee is absolutely on course, that they are on top of the game, that there is not a single of the matters that are arising daily that are out of their eyesight. And see, you may shake your head, Mutagi. Let me tell you.
I'm a journalist and I know what you're saying. I don't agree at all.
Yeah, fine. But I'll tell you why. There's a difference in the journalistic perception and in the reality. The reality is that in the leadership that we have, with the work that is being done on a day-to-day basis, it's about providing solutions to the problems that are there today and tomorrow. And
the problems are self-inflicting.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, we have had a team that has made a perfect game of standing on the sidelines and calling out on what would have been. And I'll say this, you know, if you ever attend a football match, the best players in a football match are the ones who normally sit by the sidelines, because they'll be saying, oh, you'd have hit there, oh, score now. But they're not in the field. And if you put them in the field, they would never even have the job.
They are needed. The fans are needed.
Absolutely.
Criticism is important.
To criticize, all right. To even cheer.
Yes.
But in the cause of your cheering, also acknowledge, and this is what I'm saying, that we need, on a very, very serious note, to say to our people that the work that requires to be done for the people of Kenya is being done the way it should be done.
Let us hear from Maanzo.
First of all, I want to say that the role of opposition is very important, and it is constitutional. And if all of us shut up or don't point out when mistakes are done, then the country is going to sink. The country is losing billions of shillings every day in corruption. And I've said, when you say Jubilee government is at it, I think whatever has been done is very little percentage. And as somebody who sits in parliament, I want to tell you, and as also as a lawyer, I've looked at the laws, I've looked at the systems, I've looked at what is in place. Right now, we have even what is now pending before courts as an illegal anti-corruption commission. Though the court are yet to determine, and you know we don't have commissioners. The Jubilee government has not moved fast enough to replace the commissioners who were sacked. So if a smart lawyer goes to court to defend somebody who is alleged right now...
In fact, they're doing that in the case of whoever, those
they're going to be knocked
out.
Yeah. Those cases are going to be knocked out, and if I was a judge seated there, I'll release that person, because the government has not put into a proper system to fight corruption right now. So we should be having a proper running commission. We propose some laws in parliament. We should have very strict laws from the constitution. In fact, I do agree with this proposal. If a Kenyan is caught with corruption, because it kills people, it is as bad as robbery with violence, they should be sentenced to death. And that's the time now we will stop losing money, because for corrupt purposes, when people steal money, others die. If money is stolen in the health sector, there is that poor patient who will not get medical treatment the proper way, because no system is working. And corruption causes very serious inequality in the country. It sets a class of a few rich people who have never seen poverty, and a lot of very many poor people. And really, that's what brings down all the systems of a country, is what brings anarchy, is what brings war. It's a very dangerous thing, and I think it should be fought so that our little savings as a country, our taxes, are safe. The moment taxes are safe, you will see roads, we will have water. You can see now, instead of the government buy tanks, now you are the one who buy from your own pockets. It's because of corruption.
What do you say? That general perception that there is more corruption in Jubilee government than even during Moi time. And the example of this is that apart from those cabinet ministers who are now out, there are now 13 left out of 19. There are many parastatal chiefs who are either being charged or will be charged. According to Manoa's speech who came here the other day, he said about 50 of them, top guys, which is good because they are prosecuted. But the perception is there is more corruption now than ever before.
Let me first begin by telling my friend that the process of having in place commissioners for the Anti-Corruption Commission is already in progress. But that one we both know as legislators. Secondly, on the issues of the fight of corruption, I think there is no doubt. There is absolutely no doubt. And good that you mentioned what you've said, Mutegi, that actually it was the person of Manoa who was here who said that countless people, several people are going to be paraded when they have been found to be culpable of corruption and prosecuted. Because the difference, and that is what I want to make clear to our people to understand, the difference, the reason why you find that perception, as you have said, would be there, I'm not sure it's there, that there is a lot of corruption, is because the seriousness with which this government is prosecuting the matters of corruption now has not been seen before. No one is being left, is being spared. Other than the government doing the work of protecting those who have been caught, that is why it was Mano himself was saying that all those people are going to be paraded and prosecuted. Because in the past, what has been happening is that you find the systems that were there were going out of their way to protect people who have been caught with corruption. But I also want to say clearly that I believe verily that the prefect of who is corrupt or how to deal with corruption, the cleanser or the presiding father of the confessions of corruption cannot be called. I'll tell you why. Because absolutely the CORD leadership have had their day in this country to show this country and the people of Kenya what they are made of, how they will tackle with the issues of corruption. They had a full 5 years in government, but there is nothing that they did or showed this country. And it is clear in our few years past record that the very top of the CORD leadership are the ones who have presided over some of the biggest issues here in this country. And let me finish because my time. You see, most of the time when people talk about Anglo leasing, they forget that during the Anglo leasing scam, the government that was there was a joint government. It was a coalition government between President Kibaki and Raila Amolo Odinga. The two of them, one was in charge of this, the other one was in charge of ministries and ministers, and the two of them were the ones who were completely, absolutely in control. And there is no way one would say that it is the other one. And so, if you ask me, what is it that the CORD leadership showed this country they would do or they're capable of doing to deal with the issues of corruption or to make the case for our people better, to improve our economic livelihoods, to shape this country and give us a better destiny? They have no record that they have left or shown. And so this is not the time, and that's what I said, Mutegi, it is not the time that they can pretend now that they are the instructors and leaders and pacemakers and pathfinders of how as a country would move forward. In fact, let me say this, although I know my friend will jump at it, but let me tell you this, and I'll say this to the Kenyan people. See, one of the greatest challenges that the president right now and his deputy have had to deal with is to undo the mess that was done by ODM when they were in leadership. I mean, ask yourself, why has the president and the deputy spent half of their useful time they would have been using to build this country battling the matters at the ICC? Why? The president was not a contestant at that particular time. The deputy president was not a contestant for the presidency. But right now, they have spent more than half their time, active time, dealing with the matters at ICC. And that's why you find, as a coalition, we have stood firm to ensure that the matter that is now pending there concerning the deputy president is expedited as fast as possible and justice done and the case terminated so that these two can at least use this remaining time to build this country. Let me finalize by saying this, just for a minute. Because I was there in the ICC, I came back. Yes. And unless we have that result, and I say that I want to, Mutegi, also acknowledge, because I came back quickly after I got information about a tragedy that struck my county in Thika. There was a market there that was burnt down by arsonists, by hooligans. Somebody's yeah. Yeah, sure.
They want you to go and help.
Let me first send my pole to the people of Thika, to all the traders of the market in Makongeni, and I assure them also that as the senator, I'm going to go there right now after this. That's why I came back, to ensure that we deal with the matter, and whoever is involved, whoever played a part, no matter how high they are or how big they are, no matter how powerful or how low or where they hide, we will make sure that they are brought to book. So I'll be headed there to make sure that justice is done to the people of Makueni and the people of Veka. And my point was that these matters, when they are closed there at the ICC, now we can have these two leaders at least spending their useful remaining 2 years in building this country.
Okay.
You know, first of all, I want to say that I'm surprised Senator Matangi is angry like this. I want to say President Kibaki's government is one government many Kenyans would miss for many years. And he did his level best. I was also part of that government. He fought corruption very hard. He's very powerful. Ministers and close friends stepped aside. They were investigated. And a lot of matters, you know, President Kibaki never entertained corruption. And he was the one in charge of that coalition government, even by law. He was the president of the Republic of Kenya, even by the constitution of that day. And I want to say what has happened now is very, very simple. We have weak systems, we have weak laws, and I think that's where the current president should concentrate if he really wants to fight corruption. Corruption fights back. I want also to assess that he's overwhelmed. And unless now Kenyans help him, and Kenyans of goodwill, then corruption is going to swallow this country. The issue of ICC which you have raised is a matter pending before court. And you know, justice is not for some people and not for others. The people who died in Kenya, somebody one day must account what happened to these people. Even if Deputy President Ruto were to be acquitted, something went wrong somewhere. So the matter of ICC is a serious matter pending before court. You can't tie it to the corruption or the weak systems in the country that the president was busy with the ICC, the deputy is busy with the ICC. Kenya needs to run, and the president and his deputy were given mandate to run this country. So if we cannot say that it is called. In fact, this Waiguru matter was never called matter. It was a jubilee issue, and just court got concerned when it really went out of hand. And we saw that there were reports money was missing, and then we got concerned. And I want to say, truly, from the way law works, if the former CS and Waiguru is innocent, that truth will be found. If she is linked in any way, whether she's the one who raised alarm, or whether she's the one who is a key witness, if she's linked in any way, it will also be found one day. But I believe for now that she has done a very honorable thing, we should all respect it, and proper investigation should be done, and she should be given a chance to clear herself, just like any other person.
Somebody is reminding you that when Raila was the Prime Minister, yes, there was a scandal involving maize, and he tried to sack two people. One of them was Ruto, and he was prevailed upon, and the sacking didn't work. So, you remember that?
You see, Mutegi, if we were to open the pages of the leadership of the government that ended when the President Kibaki retired, the government of the two, Raila Amolo Odinga and Moi Kibaki, and you went to screen the issues, the scandals that were in between there, involving even the leader of court, they were enormous. There were many. From that maize to the molasses to so many. They were there, numerous, including his officers, getting money from traders in this country. Several complaints. And now, when they walk out of the government, the best game they know how to play is pointing fingers. And that is why I said that right now, what the people of this country want is solutions, answers. And I would rather have somebody who is ready to go down there where the mud is, where the mess is, where the issues are, and join Kenyans in building the nation, in providing solutions to the problems that afflict us on a day-to-day basis. But if you give me the option of siding with somebody who wants to stand on the sidelines there and point fingers and call names and say, oh, it might have been that way, and laugh out, that person will not be giving us solutions to the people of this country. The solutions of this country will come from those that are willing to acknowledge. And I'm glad that the leadership that we have right now in Jubilee, we are ready to do that. We are ready to face our people and say, yes, we know that there are issues that arise in the course of our day-to-day living. We know that there are matters that we must deal with as a people and as a country, and we are willing to join with you and acknowledge them and deal with those issues. And we are on top of the game. I'm very sure that our leadership, starting with our president, our deputy, and the entire of the Jubilee government, this is a government that is going to make a difference in the people's lives. What the people of God don't do, Mutegi.
What do you say about Irompo? There have been articles written in newspapers, particularly one writer called Divin D, who does all the arithmetic, and all the people are saying, where is Irompo money? Where did it go to?
You know, Mutegi, there has been a lot of explanations about the Eurobond money, about the investments which were made. And I said, I think, in this forum sometimes before, because that explanation has been offered before by the minister in charge of treasury, that indeed, yes, this money came. Indeed, we have invested in long-term infrastructural projects for this country that are going to ensure that the lives of our people are better. We're not investing for right now, not for the immediate, but for the long term and for the future of this country. That is how, when you find, look at the legacy of Kibaki. I want to refer to that a little bit. Look at the legacy of Kibaki. When he left office, it was the first time you would find the road between Nairobi and Kisumu was fully built, that you would drive from here to Kisumu non-stop. He built bypasses from even from Londiani straight through Miwani to Kisumu. He did a lot of work. He built
what about Jubilee?
Now, I first was starting with that, just to give you the impression and to let our people realize that investments that are made for the long term are the investments that make a difference in people's lives. And what we in Jubilee have done, for example, in that Eurobond money question, it is investing in the SGR. And you will see when the SGR is complete, how it will transform the lives of our people, the way business is done in this country, how customers, how investors invest in this country and make viable the investment. Two,
is there any long-term investment in this country which has no scandal?
Two, Mutegi, remember about education in connecting all our primary schools with power. Nearly all primary schools now are connected to power. Remember the commitment of this government to make sure that the power, the rate of power that we are charged, which is a key indicator, a key player of how we do business and how profits are made, the commitment and the work that have been done. These are things that people may not feel right now or see right now, but there are things that are going to have an effect in the people's lives, in our children's future, in the long term of this country for a long time.
Finally,
yes,
make your last comment.
Yes, I want to say that first of all, most of those projects Matangi is talking about were started during the Kibaki government. Really, everything is like everything started then and it's moving, and was moving very well often. I want to say that we have only one Kenya, and corruption is the biggest cancer in the country, and it's widening the gap between the poor and the rich. There is a lot of ill-acquired wealth which people know, is only that they cannot talk, and we need to give that mechanism where people can go and give evidence without being intimidated, whereby these monies can be recovered back to the state basket, so that every Kenyan can benefit out of it, but not few individuals in Kenya, not in equality, not in balance. Because if we don't take care of Kenya now, then the future of Kenya will be very bad, the future generations. And corruption must be stopped now by the government, for real, not just for PR talk. And it doesn't matter who, whether it is myself or you, Matangi, or whoever it is in the country, who is looting from the public coffers, should be dealt with seriously. And that's why really Parliament should come up strong. We come up with very serious laws, very strong laws, and we implement them. Because the problem is corruption fights back, and it is eating up, including the investigators themselves. They get corrupted. As I told you, I practice law and I know what happens. And therefore things become weak. And we need Kenyans who can stand and really stand for Kenya and fight corruption properly. And it has to get more serious than it is now. And any other person mentioned adversely, be it a member of parliament, be it a senator, be it a CS, I think the best thing is to step aside. If today I'm associated with corruption, I should step aside as a member of parliament. I should actually resign as a member of parliament.
Thank you. Briefly. I just want to say to the people of this country, to those that are watching us this morning, that indeed we only have one country. We have a country to build. We have work to do for the people of this country between now and the next general election. Now, what we cannot do at this time is to politicize, one, the fight against corruption, or even the means by which we will deliver on the promises of our people in this country. It is about doing hard work. It is about engaging with the people honestly. It is not about standing on the sidelines and shouting and misleading people. It is about bringing solutions to the table to our people, and the only way to do that is to get down to work. Remember what, as Kibaki exited his government, left in our mouth, that we should be a working nation. That's what we've picked up as the government of Jubilee, and we have been getting down to work and working, and we'll continue with that work. The only thing we'd want to ask our colleagues is to shout less and do more, talk less and do more, because if we both all join and ensure that we can deliver this to the people of Kenya by 2017, then we'll be having a country to be proud of. We can have a country that indeed they can come and try to run their elections again in 2032.
Thank you very much, Washimo. And with those few words, we will now go to the group that is going to sing for us.